Stockbridge, Georgia. I'm here today because I have a few questions for all of you. I'm a tax-paying citizen of the city, and I will be looking into how my taxes are being allocated. I've requested and paid for several items with open records, such as the city audit from 2018 to 2023, amphitheater ticket sales from 2021 to 2024, VyStar contract for 2025, all city-owned properties sold from 2017 to current, all city-owned properties transferred to other entities, all properties previously transferred to other entities and sold. So let's start with the VyStar contract, letter of agreement. Who signed this contract? And who read this contract? These are just questions.
Okay, fine. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
And who read this contract? Mm-hmm. There is absolutely nothing in this contract that benefits Stockbridge Amphitheater or the taxpayers of Stockbridge. Please remember that this amphitheater was funded by tax dollars. All payments made to any vendor, artist, performer, security, valet, hospitality, rental equipment, artist lodging, artist transportation, and any other expenses at Stockbridge Amphitheater is paid by tax dollars. In this contract, the VyStar will receive one table, VIP area per show with placement as close to covered stage as possible, 4 all-access passes per show, 20 tickets in the reserved section within the first 5 rows per show, opportunity to host quarterly private events at a VIP roof deck for up to 30 guests, valet parking up to 10 vehicles maximum for select contestant winners, and VyStar executive leaderships per event commercial banking rights. But that is not the gist of this contract. In this contract, Stockbridge Amphitheater or the facility will bear costs of the initial signage, production, fabrication, and installation, inclusive of updating all existing venue marks, fabrication of new digital billboard affixed to exterior of facility, VyStar lounge area signage, and wallscape. That means you all have actually agreed to pay for the signage and promotional material. How is this a letter of agreement for naming rights and we're paying for the actual signage and promotional material used at the amphitheater? VyStar is only paying $300,000 a year with a 3% escalator.
Okay, that's your time. Council, give him more time to continue on? Well, one more. That's the only one. You said no? Any more time?
You can have a few more minutes.
2? What do you?
How much more?
2 minutes. I appreciate that since we did have a late
second.
start. Thank you.
You gonna give him 2 more? All right, two more minutes. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. VyStar is only paying $300,000 per year with a 3% escalator annual following year 1 of the agreement. Just last year, an extra $500,000 was allocated to the amphitheater because there was a rain or weather delay that interrupted some scheduled shows. VyStar is contributing less than the amount that the amphitheater was in the hole from last year. This is an outside venue, so why would there not be a clause in the contract between the artist and venue stating that whether or any act of God does not equate to another full payment to the performer? I don't see anywhere in this contract where VyStar will be helping with daily overhead costs of these events. With that being said, my next request regarding the amphitheater is a full vendors list for the Stockbridge Amphitheater, as well as a vending fee to an exact dollar amount from 2021 to 2024. I would also like to request a list of payments to vendors and artists who perform, work, or any person who gets paid from working, promoting the Stockbridge Amphitheater. And again, this is a government entity built by taxpayer dollars. No information should be redacted or withheld under the federal law, Freedom of Information Act, even payments to artists. Why? Because they are being paid by tax dollars. And I reclaim my time. Thank you.
Thank you. On that note, if you put in open open records request, I would imagine that that's been submitted to the clerk, and the clerk will supply that. If not, the clerk would do so. That's part of the job in that aspect.
Yes, sir. At first, the contract was sent to me heavily redacted. So that's why I'm making this statement as far as future.
All right, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
On that aspect, I'll tell you. Thank you, sir. No further comments. All right. I will say this to you and to everybody else. The contract was signed by our representative, period. The contract was presented to the council for their approval. Stand by. It was presented to the council for approval. It just so happened. Will you stop interrupting? Let me finish.
Tell the truth.
I'm telling the truth. The contract.
Point of order. Ms. Barber's out of order.
Okay, no, hold on. Let me explain. Will you please? The contract was approved by the council. What just so happens, it was a simple majority. When it was approached at a public meeting, just like now, just like this meeting, when we had a quorum. And just so happens at that particular meeting, for whatever reason, Ms. Barber and Ms. Gant were not present for the meeting. Now, mind you, it was presented to the body at that time, and it was approved. And on top of that, our contractor that runs the amphitheater sent information to everybody on this body, this legislative body, in reference to what was going on with the contract, what was going on with the logo, the information in reference to the actual public notice about VyStar being our naming rights and our main contractor. That was all sent to everybody back in January. All right? So there are things that are in the contract that were approved by a simple majority of the council, which is a legal document. Now, what it amounts to as well, there's also a paragraph in there or a little line in there that talks about termination within a 30-day period. All right? We're not going down that road. It's in the contract. It's a legal document. But it was passed and it was given to everybody electronically in January. Guaranteed. You can do open record requests of that, and you can find that everybody got tagged with that information. Period. So it's a legal document. So and understand the concern of the public. You can have that, but the body itself approved this action and approved additional funding even last year. It was done on a legislative body by a majority. It may not be a unanimous decision. It may have been 3 or 4 votes, but it was passed appropriately at a legal meeting.
Point of order.
I'm going to stop right there, sir.
Point of order.
What's your point of order, sir?
This is not on the agenda.
Well,
So certainly, I understand, but we don't normally reply to
but
questions
I understand
from the
this.
podium.
I will stop.
And it's pretty clear that Ms. Barber wrote that statement.
Well, I don't know. I can't say that, sir. I'm not going to say that. But hold on.
Mayor
Hold on.
Ford, may I speak?
Hold on a second. Hold
No,
on.
we're going to.
Hold on, please. Hold on. I want to address that because I want to address that particular issue. I understand that, but I'll address it for this gentleman was speaking. No, sir, you've had your time. I'm sorry, you had your time. I want to address.
You allowed him to speak.
Hold on a second. Will you
I'm
please?
asking to speak.
If you hold on a second. So I want to address it for this gentleman that spoke and also for anybody else listening in reference to the legality and what was done, okay, in this aspect. Now, I will tell you what. I understand your point of order, Ms. Alexander. I understand that. Ms. Barber, you get a couple minutes and we go. We got to move on.
This is not on the agenda, Mayor. This is highly unusual. We have to have an agenda amended to discuss
Mayor
items.
Ford,
You're going outside the
allowed him to
precedent.
speak.
It's going outside
the
of
same
precedent.
opportunity to speak.
I seek the council's vote in order to override the mayor's decision to allow Ms.
Mayor
Barber to
Ford,
speak.
Stand by. Hold on a second.
they don't want me to speak because
no,
I'm going
hold-
to tell the truth.
No, Mayor Ford, if you don't mind.
The naming rights
This is out
contract
of order.
was
Hold on,
Out of
presented to
order.
the council
Hold on. Stop.
during
stop.
a
Let's-
retreat in which they amended
Remove her
the
from the
agenda.
meeting.
During that retreat, in order to add the item to review and discuss the naming rights contract. It was approved during a retreat, not a public meeting. I wanted to
Therefore-
make that correction. Yes, all of us received a copy of the naming rights contract. However, all of us was not aware that he was going to be presenting that proposed contract during a retreat where it is not audio recorded, a retreat where all members of the governing body was not
Point of
available to
order.
attend, a retreat that was called specifically to discuss House Bill
stand by.
581
Stand by,
and code
please.
enforcement.
Stand by.
Look at the
Okay.
agenda, it's online.
Oh, okay.
I take issue with any council member who would suggest that I wrote a statement for this gentleman to read here.
Okay.
He's stating facts. He just told you
two-
he submitted an open
Okay,
records request.
2 minutes. Mentioned 2 minutes.
Be
Yes, come
honest
on.
about what you all approved, knowing that this naming rights sponsorship, it does not benefit our city per se.
Okay.
More so VyStar than it does our city.
All right.
You
Ms.
all
Barber, they gave you
approved
2
this
minutes
naming
now.
rights contract, and you were thinking that the public was not going to find out about it. I take issue when you're making decisions on behalf of our city and you won't own it or you're trying to hide from it. No, stand up.
Okay.
Speak to it.
all right.
Explain why you will approve this as a naming rights sponsorship.
All right.
Explain it.
All right, Ms. Barber. Got 2 minutes. Ms. Gant, one more time, we'll go. We'll move on after you, Ms. Gant. Come on.
Mayor, I just want to let everyone know that retreat is public meeting. And I wasn't there, but any meeting that is advertised that mayor and council can vote for and they have a quorum, and we've always voted at our retreats, they are public. And they are posted. Our clerk posts the meeting and provide the notice that there is a meeting each and every time. And I wasn't there either. I did not vote on the contract, but the meeting was not something that people were trying to hide. It was a public meeting. It was advertised. And I don't want anyone to, it's kind of like when you hear different things, you don't want it to escalate into something that it's not. You want to make sure that you know the facts. Like, we can't, I understand that Councilwoman Barber is upset with what I'm saying. I understand. Well, I understand that has those concerns or whatever her statement may have been. But at the same time, we can't mislead the public by saying that we didn't have a public meeting.
Oh,
All
no, it was
retreats
not a
are-
public meeting, it was a retreat.
All
And we
retreats-
all know that retreats
Excuse me,
are
Ms.
not
Barber.
audio recorded.
Ms. Barber, you
So
had your
we're
time,
not
Ms.
going
Barber.
to mislead the
Please, Mayor.
public. We're
Ms.
not
Barber,
going
come
to
on now, you
deceive
had your
the
time. I
public.
gave you time.
Stop talking,
Mayor.
stop mentioning my name, and I
Mayor,
won't
I
have
moved
to
it.
correct the
You've
record.
got to stop her.
Stop misleading and deceiving
Mayor.
the public.
Ms. Barber.
Ms. Barber,
you
I'm
had your
sorry.
time. You had your time.
All right.
Do not say my name. Speak for yourself.
Okay, Ms.
And the
Camp, go ahead,
bad
finish your
decisions that you're making.
Okay, well, so as I wanted to say, all retreat meetings are public meetings. Any meetings that have to be advertised, as long as we have a quorum in a meeting, I want you to know that they are public. They are free for anyone to come, regardless of where they're had. Most times people have retreats to be able to get, when we do retreats, they start at like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the day, and they might end at 5:30, 6 o'clock p.m., non-stop. And they're usually for 2 or 3 days, usually 3 days, and they are planning periods. There are periods of, we have 2, we have one about the budget, and we have a second one where we plan or look at what events or activities and capital projects that we want to do first. So we give them kind of like we have a, so what's our priority type retreat. Those are the 2 retreats we have, and they are open to the public. They are announced. I just don't want to mislead anyone. I want to make that clear.
All right, thank you for that. Before your council, you have the adoption of minutes. It'll be the council meeting on March 3rd. The retreat meetings on March 19th, 20th, and 21st, and also the council work session on March 25th. We need a motion to approve those, please. From Mr. Berry, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Alexander, second that. All in favor, please indicate. Unanimously said, thank you very much.
And that retreat did not contain us having to
Presentation is.
approve the VyStar contract.
Ms. Barber, we're moving on,
Completely
please.
separate.
We're moving on. Presentation, financial report as December 31st, 2024. Mr. Malazi, please.